Hi, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you've joined us today. I'm Kelley Pitts from Lubbock, Texas. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator since 2005. So I have been creating cards for 20 years. Well, more than that, actually, because I didn't immediately join, although it was within a month or two of the first the first class I ever went to. I was addicted. I wanted more. So it has been a fun way to have a hobby business on the side and then trying to make it a little bit more of a business now. So I appreciate your support. I appreciate you tuning in, whether you're watching live on YouTube, live on Facebook, or you're watching the replay. I'm thrilled that you're here. We are going to be playing with an item out of the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. Of course, this is our holiday catalog that just came out in September. So it has lots of exciting products in it. And there are even more exciting products also online as online exclusives. So they're not even in the catalog. But today we're going to be featuring the Traditions of Christmas suite that is from the catalog. It's actually the suite that is featured right here on the very front. And I have designed a class that we had last weekend, I think, in September. And so we are going to be going through those for those of you who bought a class kit or anybody who's interested in the PDF tutorial. We will have that information that is below the kind of in the description of the video now. So I'm going to switch over and so you can see this card. This is card 2. We've already done a video of the first card this morning, and I'm playing with the lighting. It seems like there's more shadow now than there was before. So I'm going to switch this again and we'll just see where we get. See if it brightens up a little. It's really hard to figure out lighting for some reason. All right. Well, this card uses Cherry Cobbler and Real Red and some of the gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous designer series paper that's from the Traditions of Christmas suite. We have some gold foil here, and we use the Spotlight on Nature dies for those. And let's see. Yeah, Spotlight on Nature dies, number 163580. And those have several different sizes of 3 different patterns. This is only half of them. You can't see the other half. And then I also use the white circle is from the Stylish Shapes dies, which is number 159189. And you will see those if you're watching on YouTube. Everything will be linked below, but Facebook won't let you link individual supplies. So you can go to my YouTube video for that. We're also using the font here, the Merry Christmas stamp on the front, and we're going to emboss that with gold. And then the last kit that we're using is the stamp set Words for the Season. And we have May the Magic of Christmas fill each corner of your home and heart. How sweet is that? And that's number 165716. So I think we've got everything going here. We're ready. We're going to have the base of the card starts off at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then you take the card where I'll show you right here, where we've got this base. We've got all of our little pieces cut here. Thank goodness for Jan Spencer. She's helping me a ton on getting prepped for these, helped with the class and getting prepped for the videos. So we measured down 2 3/4 inches. Let's see. No, 2 5/8. 2 5/8 inches from the top, and you just cut to the score line. So just put that in your trimmer and cut that down right at the 2 5/8 inch mark. Then we're going to use that as it's not really a gate fold. I don't know. So it's a fun fold, but I don't know what that's called. I guess a front flap fold would be what I would call it. All right, we will just, since we're not going to write anything in here or stamp anything, we're going to go ahead and glue this down. And this piece of Real Red is 4 by 5 1/4. What are your colors for the base? The color for the base is Cherry Cobbler. And then this inside piece is Real Red. And then we also have some basic white for the circle, and we have the gold foil. And we have a fun surprise that Jan and I worked on this for quite some time, trying to figure out what the other colors are in this paper, because it's not just Real Red and Cherry Cobbler. There was a light color in there, and we were trying to match it up with some of our existing colors, and we came up with, believe it or not, Strawberry Slush. This is not one of the colors that's listed as a coordinating paper in the pack, but we believe we discovered another color in that paper. Isn't that gorgeous? It really, we felt like, makes that designer series paper pop, putting that Strawberry Slush behind it. So that's what we're going to use on the front. We've got a piece of the designer series paper that's 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. And then we've got a couple of little ones on the inside that we'll get to shortly. This Strawberry Slush piece is 2 1/2 by 4. And you need 2 of those. We're going to mount one to the front. And we don't have to worry about any layering or anything at the moment. We're just going to glue this on, since we're not doing a ribbon or anything like that right here. Although you could certainly add a gold ribbon, or some of even the Strawberry Slush. I believe there's still ribbon for that. So there's lots of options. Now we're going to take the designer series paper and adhere it. And usually on foil paper, I don't use try not to use the liquid glue, but there's not a huge area of foil where your little glue scribble might show. So I think it's fine on these. Okay, here's the largest of the Spotlight on Nature dies with this little rays going out. That's what we decided to use on this one. And one little tip I would say when you're trying to decide where this is going and where your glue needs to be, which is just at the bottom of the circle and only at the bottom of the circle. So you could either mark that on both sides on the back with a pencil, but what I usually do is just kind of put my hand and cover up where I can't have glue. Does that make sense? So just kind of make a little area, and that's where I know I'm safe to put glue here. And you could use tear and tape, you could use Stampin' Seal, whatever your favorite glue is. I really don't put it on in the ridges of the die cut there. Can you see that? Because sometimes the glue can ooze through those. So I'm just going to stick it right there, keep it like I had it, and center that left and right. Let's see where this one is. Yeah, right about there. So now that I have it where I want it, since you've got a little wiggle room with that your green glue or liquid glue, whatever you're using, just make sure that gets attached so that's straight. And then we're going to pop up the gold foil. And I have just punched a circle out of here so that I don't waste that whole piece of gold foil when you've got just a little bit peeking out. But isn't that pretty? Doesn't that show up that detail a lot out of that paper and the embossing here? Isn't that gorgeous with that gold foil there? I love it. Okay, we're going to wait and we're going to emboss this first and then attach it to the gold foil. Then we'll pop that up when we put it on here. So our next step, we can go ahead and, whoops, I got a little crooked with my glue there. Talking and not paying attention, wasn't I? I'll see if I can get that off with a glue eraser. Okay, we are going to go ahead and do the inside pieces since they just have to have a little stamping. We're going to use the May the Magic of Christmas with the Real Red. You could use either Real Red or Cherry Cobbler for this, whichever one you want to do. First, we got a lot of stuff going on here. No matter how much room I have, it seems that it's never enough. I always use it all. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the left-hand side of the card. I'm going to go ahead and stamp. And when you make sure you're paying attention to how that is going to fit on the white piece, since we've got these gorgeous pieces to bring the front in, we're going to leave room for this little piece when we stamp that. Hope y'all are having a great morning or afternoon whenever you're watching. And please comment if you come on and are watching the video. Would love to see you. Say hi. Tell me who you are and where you're from. Glad you've joined. I have not done any videos in a while, so I'm excited to get back on it and do a bunch. So we're going to do, our plan is to do all 7 today. And let's see. We're going to go ahead and glue the white cardstock onto the strawberry slush. We're done with our stamping, so we'll move that out of the way. And I use my silicone glue mat all the time. Do y'all have one of these? If you don't, I would recommend it. I use it a lot to keep from making a huge mess with glue everywhere, because it will just wipe off or wash off of this silicone glue mat. Easy peasy. We're just going to add that little piece of designer series paper. And I always like to leave a little bit of white peeking out on the side there, instead of putting it all the way to the edge. Usually I do. Just total personal preference. You can do whatever you want. Then this side, we're just going to glue a mirror image of that piece onto the right side over here. And this leaves you room to write a short little message and sign your name to wish your card receiver, I guess you'd put it. Write their name and write your name. So if you're going to write a big, long Christmas message, you might want to add an extra sheet or a flap or something to have room to do that. Or you could add a little white cardstock on the back for that. But sometimes if you're doing a lot of Christmas cards, you just want to be able to wish your friends and family a Merry Christmas and move on to the next card, because you're making a lot of them. Okay, and the basic white piece is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4, 2 of those. And then on the outside, when we cut the circle, it started off as a 3 3/8 square, and then we did the die cut the circle out of that. Okay, I think we're ready to get with it on our front here and do our embossing. Let's see. I've got one of the Stampin' Up older big trays here, and I keep my embossing powder in a separate little container to keep things a little tidier. We have several people coming to class, and everybody kind of has their own way doing things. Whoops, I need to get my little embossing buddy real quick before I make a big mess. Thank you, ma'am. Whoop, don't need it on that part. I need it on my white circle. Sorry, I'm crossing right in front of the camera there. Okay, embossing buddy done. Now we're going to, on the Versamark pad, you can either put the stamp onto the pad, or if it's a pretty large one, I just go ahead and flip it over. I want to make sure this is really coated well. So then I'm going to stamp the Christmas and the Merry are separate, which is kind of nice. You can do it however you want. If you want a cute little angle, or you can make that happen. Okay, we're going to just do the Christmas part to start with, and then come back and do the Merry, because as you can tell, it's kind of hard to see exactly where you are stamping, since Versamark is clear. It's like a watermark pad, and that is what the powder sticks to. And it looks like I didn't quite get enough embossing buddy here. I'll try this one more time. I'm going to have to get a little brush after that. And Stampin' Up! Does have a little embossing kit that comes with a tray and little tweezers that are reverse tweezers, and awesome. Oops. I think I might have gotten rid of some of it I wanted there.
Do you want another white?
Let's see. We'll try it. We're going to see how this works. I got a little crazy with my brush there. We're just going to let this have a little spatter. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and stamp the Mary. Try to keep this where everybody can see what I'm doing. Now we'll go ahead and do the Mary, and I'm kind of trying to think. Yeah, I'm going to move it over a little bit this way. I'm kind of lining it up. So it looks like the bottom of the letters lines up. Okay. The Mary and the Christmas separately. We'll see how this works. I have just really loved working with this suite, and I'm not at all through. I'm going to do another class with making some ornaments using our wonderful gold hoops that y'all will see on the next card that we do, number 3. That's a bandstand fun fold. Yay. We're just going to have a little bit merry, little bit messy Merry Christmas here. Okay. I'm going to move this out of the way. And could I have some tweezers, please, ma'am? We'll go ahead and get our heat emboss tool going. And I recommend staying in close to one spot here and wait until that gets shiny. Can you see that turning? It is just magical. I love that. But you can't keep going back over the same spot, or you will make the shiny go back to dull again. So hopefully I've got this at an angle where you can see this turning, because it's so fun. I love it. This is one of the things that attracted me to Stampin' Up! And was learning how to do this embossing. Love it. Love it. Can you see how pretty that is? Look at that. Oh, there it catches the shine with the light. Look at that. How pretty is that? Yay. Okay. Thanks for having some more people tune in. I'm glad of that. Would love to hear your comments as you come on board. Okay, we're going to glue this to our gold foil. And normally, like I said, I wouldn't use liquid glue on the gold foil, but this part is getting covered up, so it doesn't matter. The liquid glue kind of takes away some of the sheen and makes it dull if you if you smear that gold foil. So I'm going to try to be careful. See, I didn't take it all the way to the edge. And one other thing about working with circles is it doesn't matter how straight you get it on, because you can alter it, make it fit another way. All right, that's all set. Now we're going to pop that up onto our cherry cobbler circle. So this one is from Stylish Shapes. This one is Spotlight on Nature, as is this one. And I'm going to kind of straddle just to make sure those are attached together well. I'm going to go ahead and straddle all that inside here. And I'm going to put one in the middle too. I tried to stay away totally from the edges, just because we're going to be putting flowers around there. we're kind of making it like a bit of a wreath. And I should have moved Christmas over a little bit, but it's hard to remember everything. Okay. That looks pretty well centered with the Merry Christmas straight. Yay. Now we have my wonderful assistant Jan, who's a wonderful team member, has helped fussy cut these flowers out for us. So we're going to pop this up. I think I can do a regular one on that. I think I've given myself room. Well, I have to go this way. And then we're going to put, and this came out of one of the pieces of paper that one of the DSP papers that had it had some poinsettias and some flowers. We just had to fussy cut them out separately. They're kind of arranged where they've got a little bit of white space between them, so you don't have to worry about cutting into the next image on most of these. So, and they do have, some of them are more of a corner, like the leaves are situated in different places, so you can audition your pieces, yes, and get them the way you want. So these are going up, so I'm going to make this one kind of going down. Let's go ahead and try our third one first. I think this one's going to go like that. Isn't that pretty? Just with the paper. We didn't even have to stamp anything on here, but you could. They do have in that stamp set, if you decided you wanted to do something and make different colored flowers, you could certainly do that. And you could, if you wanted one of these flat, you could do it with glue dots and put that flat and it would kind of tuck behind. Or you could put them all with glue dots instead of with dimensionals. It's just totally up to you. I think since I've got the rest of these with a dimensional, I'm going to go ahead and dimensional this one too. And just kind of tuck it behind the other one. But like I said, you could definitely have different layers. Now we have our little partial wreath. Still not positive I want this one this way. See if I want that more this way. Let me fuss with it just a minute. We're doing so well on time here. If anybody has any questions, please put them in the comments, or y'all can contact me anytime. I'm happy to help. And if you need any of the products that we're using today, there should be listed there. If you're watching YouTube, they'll be listed on the video right before if you click more and open up. But isn't that pretty? Lovely, lovely card. Now, all we like to finish it up are just our wonderful embellishments. And these are the sparkling sequins, traditional sparkling sequins. Love these. We have used them on all the cards. I'm just about out of the gold ones here. And I think I'm going to make, let's see if we like one of them down here or if that's just going to get lost in here. Let's see. We want to do this a little bit different way. And there's a small, medium, and large of each of these sizes. Nope. And I'm just kind of barely touching them down so that they're easy to move if I decide to. And it depends on how your DSP falls, exactly which way you might want to go with these. I think I may just do that a little bit different. A little different way. We don't want that there. What do we think of that? You want it back like it was, Jan?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How about that? How about that? No. I didn't quite leave myself room to stick it in here. So I think we're going to have to do either that or down here. What do y'all think? Anybody have a comment? Let me show you here.
Okay.
That work? All righty. Fun. Well, thank y'all again for tuning in. And I will switch the camera over here so I can say bye. Let's go back. We'll just hold that up for you. And this way. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. If you would like and subscribe, that would be awesome. It helps me build my channel and reach new crafters. I am really excited about our Stampin' Up! Join offer that I talked about in the first video. So y'all can check that out. If you want to go back to the video I did first, the card one, it explains the join offer. But we do, if you are thinking about purchasing some of these products, I bet you're going to spend at least $35. And you could take that $35 and apply it to a starter kit and actually get $125 worth of product and free shipping and a free paper pumpkin and all kinds of goodies. That, or you could pay the regular $99 and you'd get $189 worth of goodies. So I'm happy to chat with y'all about that. If y'all are interested, I'd love to have more people on my team. We've got a wonderful group of paper crafters who are all welcoming and helpful and love to share. So would love to have you join our group. Thanks for tuning in. Fun times ahead. Bye-bye.